Okay, let's get down to business, right? And we're going to just start with the most fundamental question. What is artificial intelligence, right? And when most people hear artificial intelligence, they think of movie scenes, maybe Terminator robots, humanoids, two robots fighting, or that kind of thing, or even just these AI videos that have been circulating a lot around the internet. And they really do think that they understand what it is because they've seen all this, or their minds immediately just drift, into those scenes or videos that they have seen before, right? And the truth is, everyone around us, again, is already using it. It sounds a little cliche, but that is exactly what is happening, right? And I would want to say that it's a little far from, less dramatic or far more useful than just movies and social media videos suggest, right? And right now, I mean, either in your pocket or on your table or wherever you're holding your phone, you're carrying dozens of AI systems. And they're quietly working in the background to make your life easier, as we had seen earlier, either through Siri, using navigation systems, using it on Amazon to shop, or wherever or whatever you're using it in your social media, or whatever, right? One thing I can promise you is that they're not planning world domination. Well, maybe just not yet. We are not there yet, and hopefully we don't get there. They're really just good at specific tasks, right? Now, what exactly is artificial intelligence? What definition? How can we define it? So either I'm going to give you a definition from Google itself, and artificial intelligence is basically the science of creating computer systems that can perform tasks typically requiring human intelligence, right? So basically, just computer systems performing tasks that typically require human intelligence, And we already spoke about all the dozens of AI systems that, are around you. It's not science, fiction, as we think. It is real. So let me break this down to you with an example that you might relate to immediately. If you open up your email right now, right? Actually do that if you can. Just open up your email and go to your inbox. It's probably very clean, and you might ask, how is this possible? How does it know to pull out the spam emails, move promotions to one tab, move your updates to another tab, and keep just your primary and most important emails on another tab, right? What you don't see is that probably this morning or earlier on today, your email provider blocked tons of spam messages, from ever reaching you, right? And how did they know to block these spam messages, right? Yeah, I just spoke earlier on about 2,000 of spam messages filtered, you know. And how did they know to actually block, excuse me, these spam messages? Is it that some programmer at Google, maybe, or Microsoft wrote a rule that says, hey, if the email contains free money, make it a spam, or if it contains, um, I don't know, come pay for whatever, or I'm giving out free gifts, it's a spam message and all that. Well, actually, they tried this in the 2000s. They tried using this method to spam messages in the 2000s. And it didn't work because spammers just kept changing the words. When you write free money, they could write free.money, free.message, free.money.message, and just found different hundreds of other variations to make sure that they could break the system instantly, right? And this was a rule-based system, as we know. The old system was rule-based, but the new system actually learns from the data that you give it. So as much as you want to feed it with all these words, When it learns from data, it learns the pattern that is coming on through the data. It then helps block that. So now, what modern AI doesn't, modern AI basically doesn't just take rules, as I'm explaining. It learns to analyze different emails, millions and billions of emails, both spam and legitimate emails. Then it discovers the patterns, then certain sender behaviors like structures, writing styles, and even the time the messages were sent, right? So it all studies all those patterns. Excuse me. And now when a new email arrives, what happens? Even a spam tactic is never seen before. That the email has never seen before. The AI will recognize it, and it will recognize the underlying pattern, and it will say, "Hey, this looks like a spam." It catches it immediately. Most times, it catches about 99% of those spams, and that's just artificial intelligence in action, right? It's not just following instructions, but it's recognizing pattern from learned experience, right? They say experience is the best teacher. So it learns and studies all those experiences and different patterns from data, petabytes of data, and it uses it. Now, here's what I need you to pay close attention to, because this is probably the most important distinction you will learn today, right? There are actually 3 types of AI, and understanding this will completely change how you think about AI's capabilities and limitations. Don't know why this is slow today, but we'll work with that. So, understanding the differences between these 3 types of AI is really, really going to help you, pull out any speculations you have about AI and just help you understand the capabilities that AI has today, right? We're going to start by looking at, the first type, which is narrow AI, and that's basically what we use a lot today, right? And it's also known as artificial narrow intelligence, or ANI, and some people call it weak AI, but that's not a terrible name because there's really nothing weak about it. It's just, a name that's been given to it in comparison to the other types of AIs. And now, narrow AI is just brilliant at one specific task, right? It's completely useless at everything else. So every AI system you interact with today is narrow AI, right? We spoke about the spam filter. Let's talk about your phone's face unlock. That's narrow AI. It's an incredible way at analyzing or recognizing your specific face in 2.3 seconds. I did a video of how neural networks does this, and we're still going to look at this somewhere in the course later on. But it can also filter spam. But can it also filter spam? No. Can it recommend movies? No. Can it translate language? No. Right? Netflix's recommendation system is a narrow AI, but brilliant. It's brilliant at predicting what you will want to watch next. But can it diagnose diseases? No. Can it write code? No. Can it understand speech? No. So it's basically just really, really good at performing one task at a time. A lot of people, look at narrow AI like an Olympic athlete. The gymnastics champion can't compete in swimming. The grandmaster can't play professional basketball. Those who perform at concerts cannot perform surgery, so they're just really good at performing one task at a time, right? And each one is extraordinary in their specialty. It's terrible at everything else, but perfect in their specialty. And in this everyday AI application you use, email, facial recognition, voice assistance, GPS traffic, social media feeds, online shopping, autocorrect on your phone, medical image analysis, self-driving features in cars. Each one is brilliant at its task, but it's incapable of doing other things, right? So it's just specialized for one specific task at a time. Now, let's look at the second type of AI. Yeah, these are just different uses of, narrow AI and its applications and voice. Now, let's look at the second type of AI, which is general AI, artificial general intelligence, right? And this is known hypothetically as the holy grail of artificial intelligence. Um, it's also sometimes called strong AI, and this is the hypothetical AI that could understand. I mean, when I say hypothetical, take note of the word, right? That could understand, could learn, could apply intelligence across any domain, just like humans do. Right? Write poetry, diagnose diseases, debug code, play chess, have debates, learn from one domain, apply in another, understand social and emotional cues and all that, right? Um, Imagine there was an AI that could do that with all human level competence. Just one system, unlimited domains, that would be artificial general AI. But here is the critical point, and I need you to really hear this. AGI does not exist. Artificial general intelligence does not exist yet. It has never existed, and we don't know if it might exist. Now you may be thinking, but wait, what about ChatGPT? Isn't that artificial general AI? No, ChatGPT may appear versatile, right? Because it was trained on incredible diverse text data. But here's the reality. It can only generate text. It can't really do other things. It can maybe generate images and all that, but that's about it. It can't learn new information. It can learn new information after training. It can't truly reason. It recognizes pattern in language, right? It has no understanding of the physical world. It can't transfer skills the way humans do. It can't perform operations. Sometimes you ask it questions and it'll tell you it's not sure. So ChatGPT is still very narrow AI, right? Just with very, very broad, narrow specialty, which is language patterns, right? And the truth is that AI researchers are deeply divided on when or if we'll actually achieve this artificial general intelligence. Some optimist predictions, say that by 2040 and 2060, we might achieve this. Others say 2075 or 2100. There's just varied ideas of when we might achieve artificial general AI. But when you look at it, it's not really here yet, and we don't even know if it's theoretically possible. And why is it so difficult, right? Because humans have something we don't fully understand. We do have something we don't fully understand. We understand context across completely different domains, transfer knowledge between unrelated fields. We have common sense reasoning, understand causation, not just correlation. We learn from different examples. We possess consciousness, self-awareness. And at least we think, or at least we think we do, right? We don't know how to program these capabilities. Current AI excels in pattern recognition but lacks genuine understanding. For example, a surgeon, right? A surgeon is able to perform operations, have a family, own a business and all that. But when we look at the AI capabilities we have today, like we said, for example, ChatGPT cannot perform an operation. It's only good at text generation or image generation. You have to train a robot and code a robot to perform some of those operations and all that. So that is why we say that narrow AI or weak AI is only good at performing one specific task, right? It cannot do all these things at the same time. Of face recognition, you have specific AI systems for face recognition. You have different ones for voice assistants. ChatGPT is not a voice assistant. It cannot be a voice assistant. It's not a GPS route. It cannot route GPS traffic. It doesn't do that, right? It wouldn't help you shop. So it has different capabilities for different AI systems, and that's why we say it cannot perform tasks as humans. And that is what we're looking at artificial general intelligence to do, but we are just not there yet. So that is the difference between these ones. Now, if you thought that we have looked at the two most important, there is another one which is called super AI, and this is basically in the speculation zone, right? Excuse me. And super AI, also known as I should be moving these things. Why AGI is so difficult? Okay, well, let's look at why artificial general intelligence is so difficult. Context understanding. We already said common sense, efficient learning. We learn from very few examples. Knowledge transfer, causation and correlation, consciousness, right? We looked at all these. That's why it's really a little difficult to, get artificial general intelligence. Now, excuse me. Let's look at super intelligence. Well, this is basically a hypothetical AI that does not even match human intelligence, but definitely exceeds all domains of intelligence simultaneously, right? Okay. Let's imagine an intelligence that is to humans what humans are to ants, right? When an ant, what do ants consider humans to be? Basically, a huge threat. Some huge, I don't know, super image that, just that we're considering the existence of, I don't know what these are called, that appear in space, that we see in movies, hoping that they'll come someday and extinguish the human race. That is what super AI is being looked at. That's how powerful the comparison is today. So, let's think about humans versus ants for a moment. We can predict their behavior. They cannot predict ours. We understand concepts that they cannot understand. We can manipulate the environment in ways they cannot perceive. The smartest ants can't even understand human technology. They don't even know what humans are, right? Now let's flip that relationship. Super intelligence versus humans. They can solve problems we can't even formulate. They can invent technologies we can't even imagine. They could think in ways we can't even understand. They can process information 1,000,000 times faster than we can. And they can improve itself recursively, right? Getting smarter at an exceptional or an exponential rate. Okay, this is the AI that people worry about in existential risk scenarios, right? Not because it would be evil, but because its goals might not align with human welfare. And just like we don't consider ant colonies when building highways and super intelligence, when building highways, super intelligence would not, definitely not even a mite, it will not consider human needs when pursuing its objectives, right? So all those things we even see in movies is still not yet at the level of super intelligence. It's still at the level of artificial general intelligence. And though some researchers worry that artificial general intelligence might not exist, or they worry of its existence at some point, it could rapidly self-improve super intelligence, right, through a process called recursive self-improvement. And if you know what this is, recursive self-improvement, right, just the term itself, general intelligence designs a slightly smarter version of itself. that version designs another even smarter version of itself. And just that cascading effect leads to superintelligence in days or hours. But this is just all theoretical. We're not even close to artificial general intelligence yet, let alone super intelligence, right? But why does this distinction matter? And it's basically because why we're spending time on making this distinction is because there's a lot of confusion about the AI capabilities, and this can lead to terrible decisions, right? Like basically at this moment, there's an overestimation of current AI. We'll just use AI to solve complex strategic problems, right? And the reality is that current AI can help with specific tasks, not make nuanced decisions requiring genuine understanding, right? And then the second problem, unnecessary fear. AI will take over our jobs next year. In reality, narrow AI augments jobs more than it replaces them. Artificial general AI does not exist. Well, just not yet. I know there's conversations and other arguments about AI agents taking over jobs and all that. And that is true, that AI agents, are slowly replacing developers. However, it's still providing another capability, another way, or another type of job out there that we could take. So you just need to upskill. It's not completely taking our jobs yet, So, but one thing we know for sure is that someone who is using AI, learning it the right way will definitely take your job if you're not upskilling, right? So we're looking at the wrong problems and focusing on the wrong things than actually working on understanding them and making sure that we align with all that, So the reality is that narrow AI augments jobs more than it replaces them. So far, as we know. And then, of course, the third problem, unrealistic expectations. Can't your chatbot also analyze images, manage projects, schedule meetings? Reality is different, right? Narrow AI systems have different tasks, not one magical system. So you have a different AI system for this, or different AI tool for this, or for that, or for this, or for that. We don't yet have one AI tool that can perform all these tasks together. There's no magical system yet. So that's why it's important that we make these distinctions so we understand, right? And then, of course, the problem of dismissing real progress, It's just narrow AI, not really intelligent. And the reality is that narrow AI is already transforming industries and creating enormous values. It really is, And, this is what you need to remember, particularly the reality for professionals, right? Today, narrow AI is here. It's powerful, it's transforming work across all industries. And in the near future, maybe 10 to 20 years from today, more capabilities for narrow AI systems would have been released. But in the distant future, artificial general intelligence is still very theoretical. We're not there yet. Now, the further speculation is that superintelligence is science fiction and not business planning, right? So, your focus should be on understanding and leveraging narrow AI effectively in your work, because that's what exists and what will exist for the foreseeable future, right? So when we talk about AI in this course, excuse me, in business context, in news, in your daily work, we're talking about narrow AI, right? We talked about what exists, what's coming, and what matters. What exists is that powerful pattern recognition tools are available now. What's coming? More capabilities are coming, specialized systems in the near future. And what matters? Augmenting human capabilities in remarkable ways, which we are already doing today. So, when we talk about AI in this course, particularly in business context, in the news, in your daily work, we're talking about narrow AI, specialized systems that are really, really good at performing specific tasks. Not robot overlords, not machines, just incredible pattern recognition tools that, when used correctly, can augment human capabilities in remarkable ways, right? And now, speaking of how systems work, it brings us, we're going to go to our next lesson. But before that, your takeaway from this lesson on what AI is and the different types of AI, is that AI, these are computer systems performing tasks requiring human intelligence through pattern recognition and not just simple rules. And that there are three types of AI. We have narrow AI, which is what we use today. We have general AI, which is still theoretical and maybe foreseeable in the near future, and super AI, which is still just pure speculation. Hopefully we never ever get to that point, right? And then in our current reality, all AI you interact with today is narrow AI. It is specialized at performing just one task, powerful, and transforming your work, right? And then, of course, for the practical focus, we'll leverage existing narrow AI systems effectively rather than wait for artificial general intelligence, which is still very theoretical and we're not sure if we would achieve it as well. And then also just avoid any confusion and understand that the AI types prevent overestimation, unnecessary fear, and just unrealistic expectations. And that is why today it's important. Those who really don't understand the AI systems would come up with all these theories about how AI is about taking over the world, robots are coming to take over everything, and they're going to reduce the human race and all that. That is where we would have kind of a super AI, but for now they're still in training and you see how slow that is going. So hopefully we don't get to that point of achieving general AI, because that one on its own is already scary. And if we get to that point, we achieve general AI and it does the recursive learning to keep getting better and better and better, that is where we really need to start adjusting and being fearful of the next future, right? So I think we've come to the end of this course. For what is artificial intelligence, I hope you did learn some of the differences of the types. In our next course, we're going to look at machine learning and machine learning essentials, right? And basically how AI learns, what machine learning is, its own capabilities. And yeah, I will see you in the next course. Thank you.